Want to learn how to set up an awesome template in FL Studio for recording vocals? Stay tuned, I'm about to show you how. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I've already done some of the work. I just realized I don't need my headphones because there's no music in this yet. I've already done some of the work, as you can see. I have a drum bus, bass, instruments, and this is more for production than vocals, so let's jump right into the vocal part. Okay, so let's start off with your vocal effects. So as you can see, I have one channel set up just for the effects to bus them. All of these are going to flow into this channel, so you want those to route to that track only, to the bus. And then the bus is what's going out to your master channel. So let's go ahead and do that. You got your double, route to this track only, FX, route to this track only, and finally this one, FX2. Now, the reason I have an FX1 and an FX2 is sometimes you know, while you're in the creative process, you're like, oh, I'd really like to add this extra effect or that extra effect. And it's nice just to have it in your template so you have room to add that if you need to. And then you can just rename it whatever you'd like. All right. And then once we get into the vocal bus, actually before we get into that, we need to group all of the effects together. And I'll show you how to do that in your mixer channel, or in your playlist. So bear with me. So here's your bus. All you do is you right click on reverb, for example, and you group to the one above. Just looking for that now. Group with above track. I don't know why that took me so long to find, but there it is. So group with above track. Continue to do that. Group with above track. There we go. All right. Perfect. Now they're all grouped together, and you can minimize them like that if you want to minimize all of your groups together. And now we have our actual vocals, what we're going to be recording, singing on, that type of thing. So let's take a look at that in the mixer real quick. So same thing, we have a vocal bus. The vocal bus is going out to the master channel. We have your, here I'm going to move this over a little bit, we have your vocal 1. So as you can see, the vocal 1, I've already added some of the plugins that I use pretty much every time on every vocal. Added those, but as you can see, I'm sending it to this track only, to the vocal 1 sends. And what the sends are doing is it's routing to, yes, the vocal bus, so that's its output, but it's also side chaining to all of these effects. So if you were to look at, think of it, it's sending, obviously, the vocal signal to those effects. Here, I think I have them named in this one. So, for example, here's your reverb send, your delay send, double send, FX1, FX2. So what essentially is happening is you're routing all of your vocals to the send track, all of the send track to the vocal bus, and then the vocal bus goes out to the master. Now the reason I do that is because you can still make individual channel changes and make those kind of micro changes to vocals, but you also have the flexibility of having a vocal bus where you can make changes to the vocals at large if you wanted to. So let's take a look at that. Now let's say we want to add 2 more. Right? Like we have vocal 1, we have vocal 2, we have vocal 3. Let's say we want to add vocal 4. One thing you want to do, let's go back to the playlist, is I always tie the playlist channel to the mixer channel. It just helps me keep things organized. When you go into, I was right clicking here, when you go into track mode and go to audio track, you can see this is tied to insert 35. And this one is tied, track mode, audio track, to insert 37. Right? Awesome. So, you'll want to tie those together. It helps me, at least. Let's go back here to the mixer. So basically, we want to replicate vocal, well actually, we want to replicate vocal 1. Let's get rid of these sends. We don't need them. Delete. Delete. And delete. There we go. And we basically want to replicate vocal 2 to vocal 3, because I haven't done that yet, and we'll want to replicate it to vocal 4. So one quick way to do that, so you're not putting in individual VSTs or plugins into the channel and having to search for each one, what you can do is you can right click, go to File, Save Mixer Track State As, and I'm going to call this Vocal Stack Template Demo, for example. There we go. Save. All right. Now we want to add that to vocal 3, so all you have to do is right click, go to File, open Mixer Track State, and there it is, Vocal Stack Template Demo. Open. And it added all of those. Let's do the same with this track. So File, open Mixer Track State, Vocal Demo, there we go. And let's do the same with the sends as well, because as you can see here, there are 5 sends and they're already named. Let's save some time and do that. So File, Save Mixer Track State As, Vocal, or I'll just go Sends Template Demo. There we go. All right, now we're going to go here, and we're going to call this, or we're going to go to File. We right-clicked, go to File, go to Open Mixer Track State as Sends Template Demo. There we go. All right, now as you can see, this is called Vocal 2 and this is called Vocal 3, but it actually should be called Vocal 4 and Vocal 4 Sends. So we're going to rename. This is Vocal 4, and we're going to rename this one. We're going to Vocal 4. There we go. Now we want to set it up exactly how we have the other ones. So you're going to want to send Vocal 4 to the sends only. So route to this track only. We're going to go to the sends, and we're going to route this one to the vocal bus only. There we go. Now let's sidechain to all of the effects. So if you right click, excuse me, right click here, sidechain to this track. Don't sidechain to the track only, just sidechain to the track. Just go through all five effects, and this is where color coding really helps you keep things straight, right? So now we have it sidechained to all of the effects. Let's take a look and see if they are. Yes, this is sending to the reverb exactly as expected. So that's great. This one, sending to the delay exactly as expected. So that's awesome. It saved the send settings. So let's say you wanted to add even more vocals. It's just that much easier. Now you have your mixer state that you can copy. You just rename it. You have your send state, and you just got to make sure that you're sidechaining everything. So next thing you want to do is we want to group all of these together and color code them. So right click, group with above track, group with above track. We're just going to go through all of them and do that because they all fall under the vocal bus. There we go. All right. Okay. Now let's color code it. So we're going to go back to the mixer. To highlight all of these at once, you hit Control Shift, left click, and just drag it over, and it will choose all of the channels that you want to choose. Right click, change color, and it looks like we haven't really used yellow yet, so we'll go with yellow. Accept. And there we go. They're all grouped together. Looks like they're the only ones playing for some reason. There we go. Now we have a nice template to work with. So how do you save this template? That is a good question. So what you want to do is go to File, Save As. And this is tricky. You'll need to find your data folder. So I know where my data folder is. If you can't find your data folder, I believe you can look in Options. Let me see. I think it's in File Settings, Data Folder. Yeah, see? So it lists exactly where your data folder is here. So just go to Options and then File, and you can see your path here. Mine is in Documents and Image Line. So we're going to Save As. We're going to go to Documents, Image Line, and we're going to look for FL Studio and see if there is a templates folder. I really thought there would be. So let's go back to Image Line. Oh, maybe it's in Projects. Let's look in Projects. Templates. Yeah, so there we go. So that path again is this was my default folder when I installed the program. It should be your default too if you're using a Windows machine. Go to Documents, Image Line, FL Studio, Projects, and then Templates. And I'm going to name this, oh, you probably want to change the file type as well. Well, it looks like an FLP is a template, so I guess you don't have to do that. So let's name this beat and vocal template. There we go. Save. All right, so we have it saved. Let's see if it worked. So I'm going to close out of FL Studio. Eventually. There we go. And then we're going to open it up again. We're going to go to File, New from Template. So let's see if we can find that template. I didn't see really a folder that I put it in. Beat and vocal template. Oh, there it is. It's real big right there in the folder. So you could create your own folder if you wanted to inside of that folder if you wanted to keep your template separate. But I'm going to click on beat and vocal template and it loaded up everything exactly as expected. Let's take a look at the mixer. Where'd it go? There it is. And there we go. All set up for you. This is a huge time saver. If you do things the same way every time, as you can see, I've got like the drum bus with a kick and a high kick and hi-hats and snare. Like I tend to use the same instruments all the time. If you record your vocals in the same way every time, use a lot of the same plugins, just take the time to set up a template. It's really going to save you time in the future. You're going to get projects done a lot faster and you're going to be a lot more organized. I hope this has helped you out. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear those. Otherwise, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, all those good things, and I'll see you in the next video.